guys, let us make some lasagna. So this is a pot. I'm going with about a tablespoon of oil, and I'm gonna saute some onions and some garlic. And this is my onions and my garlic. I'm gonna be putting them in to saute together. Okay. And just as it starts to get a bit translucent, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my beef. Okay, and now we're gonna go in with our beef. All right, I've rinsed this with a bit of lemon and vinegar, and I'm gonna just break it apart really. Okay, just break it apart and mix it up. Then we're gonna cover it. I'm not putting any seasonings in there as yet. I want my beef to get all nice and brown before I start seasoning that up with everything good. Okay, so just keep mixing it up for like a minute or two. Okay, and as you can see, some of it is starting to get nice and brown already. Okay, when everything is nicely browned, then we're gonna start seasoning it up. Okay, but for now I'm gonna put the lid on and just allow that to do its thing. Okay, all right. Okay, and as you can see, our ground beef is nicely brown. So it's now time to season this up. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with some salt, I'd say about half teaspoon of salt. We're gonna go in with some basil, about half teaspoon is that as well. Okay, then we've got some complete seasoning, about a teaspoon of that. Okay, and we have some black pepper, about a quarter teaspoon, and last but not least, we've got some pimento, allspice pimento. Just putting about a quarter teaspoon of that in there as well. And how can I forget my thyme? We've got some thyme as well, half teaspoon of thyme. All good to go. Then we're gonna mix that up. Okay, so after we've mixed up all of our seasonings, we're now gonna go in with some lasagna sauce. This is a mix of basil and tomato, and it's nice and chunky as well. We're gonna put it in the whole jar. Okay, and then we're going to mix it up. Okay, mix it all together. And by the way, my heat is also on medium. Okay, so it doesn't dry up very quickly, right? So I went ahead with the same jar that had the lasagna sauce and filled it up with about half a can of water, or half the jar of water, sorry. And I'm just going to mix it up, and this is what's going to allow my meat to cook, my ground beef to cook. Okay, so now I'm just going to put the lid on and allow that to cook for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so we're just going to be checking our ground beef to see how nicely it's coming along. All right, and I have some fresh seasonings that I want to add to that as well. Okay, so these are my fresh seasonings. We've got some basil, spring onions, parsley, and some thyme. I'm gonna put all of that in there like so. Okay, then we're just gonna mix it up. I think you guys can tell by now, I love mixing things. Okay, just mix that all in. and I love the taste of basil. Oh, so fresh. Alright, and we're gonna allow that to cook on low. Do you see how low it is simmering over there? Okay, we don't want that to cook too quickly. Alright, 45 more minutes to go. Okay, we're gonna check on our ground beef once again. Okay, I'm gonna stir it up. This is about, I'd say about 30 minutes into the cook time. Okay, I said I was gonna let it cook for an hour. That was actually a mistake. I'm gonna let that cook for about 45 minutes. Alright, but it's on slow cook anyway, so it's not gonna burn or anything. And another little trick that I'm gonna show you guys is, normally tomato has such high acidity, so normally what I do, I go in with about maybe quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon of sugar, and that really helps to balance the acidity of the tomato that we're putting there. Okay, this is optional, you don't have to do this, but I'm just sharing one of the little secrets that I've done for the past how many years, and it's always been a hit. Okay, so just stir it up and then put the lid back on while we get ready to sort out our cheese. Alright, so for my cheese, I've got some mozzarella cheese that I'll be using. Okay, so mozzarella cheese, I won't be using any ricotta cheese because I don't really like the taste. I also got some mature cheddar, and I found a little piece of red Leicester cheese, but that's optional, so I'm just going to be putting that in there as well. Okay, so we're going to grate that into our bowl, and this is our cheese all ready to go. I also added just a little bit of Parmesan cheese to that as well, about a cup of Parmesan cheese in there as well. Okay, so yeah, that is nicely mixed and ready to go. So time to check on our ground beef one more time, and then I think it will be ready to start assembling everything together. I'm also going to be making a bit of a white sauce for my lasagna, and in my pot I've got a tablespoon of butter. Okay, I'm just allowing that to melt, and I'm going in with a heaping teaspoon of plain flour. Okay, and then we're just gonna mix that all up. Please don't mind my pot, okay? This is my trusty pot. I like that pot. Okay, and then we're gonna allow that to fry for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Just let that fry for about 2 to 3 minutes before we go ahead and start adding our milk. Okay. Okay, so I've added all of my milk, 2 cups of milk, and it's gonna start to thicken. Alright, so as soon as it starts to thicken, we are gonna go ahead and turn that off. Alright, I'm also gonna be adding just a pinch of allspice to my white sauce. Okay, some people add nutmeg, but I really like the way the allspice makes it come together quite nice. And this is starting to thicken, so I need to turn it off before it gets too thick. Okay, starting to come together nice and well. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's literally starting to thicken. The texture is not as runny as before. Okay, so let us go ahead and turn that off. And just to show you guys how our ground beef has come along nicely, it is cooked now because it's been just over 40 minutes. Alright, it's definitely cooked now. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just to stir that up so everything is nicely combined, and I'm gonna turn it off as well. Okay. All ready to go. It's nicely cooked. Okay. Good. So these are the lasagna sheets that I will be using. They don't require any cooking before I put them into the baking dish. If you're using a different brand, then make sure you check the cooking instructions. But these ones, they just say cook before eating. So, and it's really thin as well. So it's gonna cook in the oven. All right, so let me show you here's how I layer up everything. So this is the tray that I'm going to be using, and I'm just gonna be spreading a bit of my ground beef on the bottom, okay, before I start layering up everything. Okay, just make sure the bottom is covered. That is what is important. All right. Okay. I'm probably gonna put another one more in there as well. And I'm aiming for about 2 to 3 layers. Okay. See what I was saying about the sheets? Like, do you see how thin this is? All right. So we're just gonna start layering it up one by one. Okay, possibly put about 3-4. Oh, maybe about 3-4, or maybe I can actually break a piece and put it there as well. Okay, probably just break piece and put it here. Okay. I just tried to break piece and put it there, and we also need some pieces for underneath here as well. Like, man, this is hard trying to do it with one hand. Okay, and then we have another piece for here as well. So then we're gonna put some more ground beef, and then we're going to layer the cheese on top of that as well. All right, so we're gonna make sure everywhere is just layered nicely, and just need to put like a thin layer, nothing too excess. All right, just cover everything up. Cover it. Okay, just cover that nice. Okay, wherever you see that it needs some, just put. Okay, good. And then now to go in with some cheese and more cheese. Okay, just make sure you cover the whole surface area. Move it, the corner, make sure everywhere gets a nice layer of cheese. Now don't go heavy handed like me, because I always run out of cheese and I always have to get more. But yeah, okay, then we're gonna layer again like so. Okay, second layer, all nicely covered. Okay, then we're gonna go in with some cheese. I love cheese. Okay, just go in with a big handful and just spread that everywhere. And try not to put it on the same place, just spread it. Spread it, spread it, spread it. Okay, finally get in there. And don't mind the pieces. I just chaotic on this layering thing, like literally. Because what's underneath don't matter. Alright? What's on the outside matters. That's not true, guys. Okay, well, in the case of a lasagna anyway, what's underneath don't matter. Alright? Well, how it look outside when it cook, it ready. That is what matter. Alright, so we're just spreading our leftover sauce on there. Okay, and I was actually right. I got about 3 layers, so that's good. So this is the last layer, and I'm literally just spreading some cheese on the top, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pour in my sauce, my white sauce that I made. Okay, just gonna pour that all over that, and then put in some more cheese on top of that. So time to pour in our white sauce. Okay, just make sure you cover everywhere. Okay, just pour everything. All right. Then we still have a little bit more cheese, so we're gonna go in with that. All right, then we're gonna bake this for 35 to 40 minutes and it will be ready. Okay, just something I like to do, I'm just gonna go ahead and just top this off with a bit of chopped basil and parsley. Okay, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it because when it melts in the cheese, then it looks pretty. Okay, just basically spread it everywhere. And another thing, I'm gonna be baking this with the foil over the lid because we want the lasagna sheets to cook. This is gonna bake for 40 minutes, but I'm gonna allow it to bake for about 20 minutes with the foil over the lid. And well, I'm gonna let it bake with the foil over the top of this, and for another 15-20 minutes I'm gonna let it bake without, so everything can just get a nice golden brown color, you know. All right, so this is that. So we put our foil over the top like so. All right, and we're gonna push it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes, 20 minutes with the foil over it, and about 15-20 minutes with the foil out. Okay, oven is being preheated to 375 degrees, so I will show you when I remove the foil how it's looking. Okay, so we're just gonna be checking it at the 20-minute mark. Okay, oh gosh, try not get burnt. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Hey boy, yeah man, see what I was saying about the basil and the parsley? See how it just basically made the top look so pretty? Okay. So yeah, see what I was saying about the basil and the parsley? It just made the top look so pretty. So now I'm pretty sure the insides are cooked. You know, these lasagna sheets that we put in there, pretty sure it's nicely cooked. But we need this to get some nice golden brown color, so then we will know it's ready. So I'm gonna push it back in for 20 minutes again. Well, 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna be checking it at the 15-minute mark to see if it's golden enough or if it needs 5 more minutes. But yeah, see how beautiful. Okay, so yeah, let's push it back in. And there you have it, it's ready. Okay, I'm gonna let it set for at least 20 minutes before I cut it because you don't want this falling apart. Okay, so in the meantime, grab your fork, your knife, your plate. Okay, basically, our delicious lasagna is ready. And there you have it. We're gonna have some lasagna with some salad, okay? And I know I said I was gonna let this rest for at least 20 minutes before I cut it, but I need to be at work in the next literally 2 hours, so